yes. Ah, yes. Once more into the breach, as they say. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? How you doing? Here, hang on one second. We're just starting it up over here. Starting it on up, as they say. All right, let me get this pulled over here. Sorry, guys. You know, when I take one day off, I totally forget how to do this job. So give me a second here. Also, I need likes. You know, we're going to need some likes, like and subscribe and all that. Yeah, come on now. Help me out here. Help me out here. I'm actually excited, man. We have a lot of cool stuff to get into today, man. We've got DCU news that actually has me excited. We've got Marvel news that actually has me excited. What? How and why does the Marvel Zombies? Why does it look so good? The hell? What the hell? It looks so good. What's the deal with that? That's crazy. You know what I mean? So we'll talk about that. And we have Warhammer news to talk about too. And oh my God, I'm excited to talk about that. And a couple other little bits and bobs. Some other Marvel stuff as well. Lizzie's in the credits of Zombies. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I'm glad they got her. You know what's wild is like, so they have Blade in that, right? And it's Blade as Moon Knight. And he looks fucking awesome, and like the action and everything was really, really cool. And everybody's like, where's Mahershala, man? Because they didn't get Mahershala for this thing. Kind of sucks. Oh no, check the music volume. Oh, is it doing that bullshit again? Oh my God, why? You know what's funny? It did this too because my the microphone when I came in today was jacked up. It had this set to default, or anyway. Okay, better now. Blade vs. Ghost, Spider-Man looked wild. Yeah, man, we're gonna talk about it. It's pretty crazy. It's all pretty wild there. I also feel like I need to go adjust this camera. Here, hang on a second here. Here's a little bit of a spoiler for the first topic we're gonna get into here today, but I need to adjust this. Look at yourselves for a second, chat. Top of the morning to ya. Okay, look, I know everybody. I know what you guys are actually here for, okay? And the rumors are true. Does that look better on the main shot? Hell yeah. Fixed it up. The rumors are true, and I know it's going to be controversial. Try not to spread it around too much, but I will admit it, and I will even show you guys. Okay, there's been a lot of bullshit going on, a lot of fighting in the community, in the Discord. Everybody was being crazy this morning. Rossi says, much love, Joshua, and all the Nerd Avengers. Appreciate you, brother. And I guess we might as well just get it over with and admit that, yes, I have started a Tau army. Look at this. Look at this thing. You see that? His gun's not glued on very good. So the gun's not glued on very good. So the gun. But look at this fucking thing, dude. The storm. It's almost as big as Galactus. So I have started a Tau army. Yep, I know. I can't believe it either. But it's cool. It's cool. Friggin' cool robots, man. Robots that shoot stuff. Tim O'Brien, by the way, thank you for the 5 gifted, man. Really appreciate that. Gernaldo also with the 5 gifted. Holy crap. Thanks for the gifted, guys. Appreciate it, man. No, I didn't paint this one, no. No, I didn't paint this one. My buddy got into Tau like a couple of years ago, but he basically just doesn't really play anymore. So he's got all this cool Tau stuff just hanging out. So I took it off his hands. Long live Commander Farsight. I think Farsight is such a cool character, but I just started looking at his actual stats in the game, and I'm like, what the fuck? He is terrible for what he should be. His sword should be so much, his melee profile should be a lot more powerful than it is, man. So hopefully they change that, because I want to get Farsight, and there's a rumor that there's going to be a Christmas box set with Farsight Enclave this Christmas, so I'm definitely going to get that shit. But they better fix it. They better fix the town, man. Josh, I was just gifted. Can I be knighted, please? Grandmaster Choda, you are a Nerd Venture now, and I've seen you in here before, so it's cool that you got a gifted membership, man, because I know you've been active in the streams. Next topic. Hey, just relax. We're getting into it. I'm having my coffee. You know, we're hanging out here. We're gonna get into all the topics in a second. I got such fucking cool topics for you guys today. Holy. Knight me as well, my guy. Oh my god. Doombot09, you are a Nerd Venture now. I can't just be knighting everybody that gets a gifted membership. That's crazy. Bo Smoka 101 says, Josh and the Doom Vengers, I hope everyone has a fantastic day. I'll watch on the replay. I love y'all. Marvel Zombies looks lit AF. Unity. Yes. So two things on that. First of all, we got some movement on Unity. I don't want to say much because I feel like every time we get movement again, something bad happens and we get delayed again. But I'm just going to say that I think we're finally moving again. And I'll explain it all when I can. But good signs for Unity. And then the second one is, dude, yeah, Marvel Zombies look sick. Dude, Spider-Man ripping off like a dozen heads with his web, like that changed my brain chemistry. That did something to me. That was nuts, man. So we're going to talk about that for sure. Wait a minute. Hang on now. Name doesn't matter. 4923 says with a $5. Holla. Thanks for being live today. I'm ill with COVID right now, and it's kicking my butt rough, man. Sorry to hear that. So thanks for giving me something to take my mind off of it. Hey, no problem, man. You know, the job's kind of funny because it does. It seems like silly, right? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it is really silly. I come out and I talk about Marvel and Star Wars and nerdy shit. You know, the yappening is happening, but I've had a lot of messages over the years of folks just saying like, hey man, like it really does mean a lot. It helps me get through stuff. And I've been on the other side of that as well. I talk about this all the time, but the show Supernatural holds a very special place in my heart because I was like really depressed in college, and just me and my buddy binging Supernatural like really helped me. And then another game was Gears of War 2. Gears of War 2 was also like around, I feel like it was around that same time, but yeah, so sometimes media and what, you know, content, whatever can help you out through stuff. And yeah, so I'm grateful that that's a thing. Shalom Elena with a $20 holla. Holy crap, that's generous, man. Says, morning, Josh. Have you heard about the article about how Hollywood is trying to get men back? What are your thoughts on that? And also, what are your top five DC characters that is not Batman or Superman? Okay, let's go in reverse order here. My favorite, I mean, I really like the Lanterns. I could almost just say I could almost give you 5 Lanterns that I like and just have that be the top 5. But I guess for this, like, we'll say Kyle and Hal. We'll just have them take up one spot. Another character I really, really like, technically he becomes Batman for a little bit, but it's this character, Azrael. In the Batman mythos, he's really awesome. Has this like suit of sorrows thing. This Knights the Templar relic that like gives him all this cool power. Batman, like, I think wears it for a little bit, and it like he can even feel it starting to corrupt him. So he's like, yeah, no, I'm good on that. Who else? Dude, Deathstroke is so fucking cool. Ra's al Ghul is really cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I like the reign of Superman characters. I guess they're technically derivative Superman, but Superboy, Steel, the Eradicator. Like, the Eradicator's really cool. Yeah, I like Lex Luthor a lot. Superboy Prime, but I guess that's Superman. Apocalypse is cool. I don't know, man. I haven't thought about like who I would say is in my top 5, but if you're just going off like aura and badassery, it's got to be like Deathstroke, Ra's al Ghul. the lanterns. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. And then Hollywood trying to get young men back. Well, it's that wasn't what the article was. The article was Disney's trying to get young men back. Yeah, and I've talked about that before. I actually did a clip about it, but yeah, I mean, I think that, look, at the end of the day, as an entertainment business or whatever, you always have to kind of see not only how are you doing with the aging parts of a demo, but the emerging parts of a demo. So like they say 18 to 35 is like the most valuable demographic for corporations. That's the ticket, you know what I mean? Although these days, I think even 10 years after that, 20 years after that is still, I mean, they have all the money. The boomers kind of have all the money too. So it depends on how you look at it. But all of that is to say that it's just part of the game, understanding the audience, the changing audience, and the emerging audience, like the new audience. And a lot of the young men these days, from what I understand, are leaning like even more conservative than maybe ever. Maybe that's just like a byproduct of whatever's happened in the past 8 years in culture. But I mean, if you're a corporation trying to tap into that group, it would behoove you to understand that group. Yeah. Those are my broad strokes thoughts. Tim O'Brien says, haven't been absent lately. It feels good to be back in the streams. Nerd Vengeance for life, Ranch Vengeance for life. Nerd Vengeance continues through 2025 community. Much love. Hell yeah, man. We're doing our thing over here. We're doing our thing over here, man, and there's a lot of cool stuff on the horizon. Deathstroke was even dope in that Arrow show. Hell yeah, dude. That guy that played him, didn't he play Crixus in Spartacus too? That dude's a fucking badass, man. I love that dude as Deathstroke. Yeah. Not just the men, but the women and the children too. Say what? We're playing more video games than going to the movies. True. Yeah, there's a lot of video game activity out there. How big a role do you think the Fox X-Men will have in Doomsday? I think they're gonna have a pretty big role. We need more video game releases along with movie releases like back in the day. What do you mean? Give me an example. Manu Bennett, that's the guy's name. Yeah. Agatha and Wanda are good. What do you mean by that? Like the shows or like the characters? What do you mean? Video game adaptations are taking over at the box office. Maybe. It does seem like they're trying to tap into that. That's for sure. Which one of these days we're going to have to do a tier list of all the upcoming IP, all the upcoming franchises. Because like, you know, there's like the Nintendo Johns, Mass Effect, Gears of War. There's a lot, right? And we could, yeah, and the anime shit. Which, dude, I am so excited in a couple of weeks for Infinity Castle. Oh man, I was hanging out with some hardcore anime people over the weekend. People very excited about that, man. Very excited. Elden Ring, of course, yeah. So we'll do like a big tier list stream where we go over it all. And then as we get closer to these things, right? So let's just pick one, like maybe the Zelda game, the Zelda movie. As we get closer to Zelda, I'm going to do a stream, maybe even a couple streams where it'll be like the old deep dive streams we did, but the stream will be titled like, stream doesn't end until I'm an expert on all of Zelda lore. And then we'll literally we'll watch videos, we'll read shit, we'll do research live, like we'll do a marathon stream, and it doesn't end until we're basically an expert on Zelda. So it'll be like that scene in Avengers where they're like, when did you become an expert on Zelda? Last night. Yesterday's stream. Duh. Read my super chat. Okay, jeez. Josh, can you give Mojat a shout out and get him back into the tower? What's the deal with Mojat? I saw you guys talking about this on the Discord earlier. What's the deal with that? Just another casualty? I don't even remember why he got banned. I don't, you know? Twilight Princess manga rules. What? They did a manga for the Twilight Princess? That's crazy. I miss Mojat. Who's Mojat? Look, I'm not trying to be rude, but what happened with him? What did he say? The backstory is drama-filled of WandaVision and Agatha Harkness. It is true. Do that with Warhammer. Make a member an expert. Oh, yeah. We will definitely do that. I mean, I'm going to have like multiple channels dedicated to that, but yeah. Guys, I didn't watch Alien Earth last night. I was holding out. And then I forget what happened. Something fucking distracted me. I was literally like, okay, we're 10 minutes away. It's 5 minutes away. And then something distracted me and I didn't end up watching it. And then I watched like a Supernatural episode with Elisa and then went to bed. But I'm excited. Apparently, Noah Hawley actually directed it himself. And he's made some comments where he was like, yeah, the episode that was actually a movie, I was not going to pass that off. He was like, I'm not going to pass that shit off to another director because it's a movie and I want to direct it. That's kind of cool. So I'll definitely watch that later. I'm excited to see it. Huh? Have you watched every episode or did you just watch it? Who are you talking to, man? 28 years later, Bone Temple trailer. Josh, I've been seeing a lot of hate on RDJ, a lot of RDJ hate tweets on my timeline lately because they don't want Tony versus Cap arc again. Thoughts? I mean, I've got a lot of thoughts on that. But I'm going to put them all in a video behind a paywall for only premium subscribers. If you here's what we're going to do. If you subscribe to me on Patreon, Twitter, and YouTube, and you show me the receipts of all three, then I'll give you a link that takes you to a quiz that will prove your loyalty to the Den of Nerds community. If you complete the quiz, then you get access to my thoughts on that exact question. So basically free. Josh, do you ever get into Stargate? I'm doing a rewatch and it's awesome. Yeah, Stargate was cool, man. The movie was really cool. I watched some of the shows. I can't really like place it. It was never something I got super into. I know about as much about Stargate as I do about Power Rangers. But man, I've had some really interesting Power Rangers videos pop up on my timeline lately. You know, you guys would have to tell me this because I'm not really in it like that, but there's this take that's sort of brewing in my brain. You know, we talk about Disney quite a bit, and Disney kind of fucked a lot of IP up, right? But I'm starting to get this take just by watching some of these videos that the Power Rangers community might feel like that's the one thing that Disney didn't fuck up was the Power Rangers. And that low-key, the Disney era of Power Rangers actually did something kind of cool and something special. And I'm like, I'm really struggling with that. Like, how did that happen when all this other stuff got so fucked up? You know what I mean? But, interesting times, yeah. Stargate lore is cool. Yeah. Marvel Zombies reaction trailer. Well, I mean, I've already seen it. We can watch it together, though. We can definitely watch it. All Warhammer fans get free access to your paywall. 100%. That's it. If you just say you're a Warhammer fan and pledge your allegiance to the God Emperor of Mankind, instant access. Well, they only had to focus on kids with Power Rangers. Fair. But, I mean, credit where credit is due, right? Like, from what I understand, it was this really layered story where they had these really, like, that cop one, every season had, like, a new version of the Rangers that had a concept that was connected in this really big way. It just seems cool. It makes me kind of want to watch it. And also, I need more likes. Okay, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I need more likes. If we don't get up to 800 likes, and there's only 600 people watching, but we need 800 likes, and if we don't get to 800 likes within the next couple of minutes, I'm taking a nap. The last movie was decent. Are you talking about the Power Rangers movie? I actually don't know if I've even seen it. I feel like I watched some of it, right? Because I remember some shit where they were like in a quarry and they find this like, I don't fully remember it, to be honest. Slap a grandma now? I mean, respectfully, yeah. Really hope they find a way to bring Supernatural back. Well, isn't there a comic book? Isn't there like a Supernatural comic book or something like that? Somebody told me. It was all right. Decent is pushing it. Oh, okay. Whoa. If you like Power Rangers, check out Kamen Rider. Same genre, but more adult and grindhouse. Ooh, that sounds nice. You know what I watched a bit of last night was the black and white episodes of Ultraman. It was cool. I've not watched a lot of like Ultraman. But it was like it was randomly on, I forget what streaming service, but they're starting to like play stuff like channels back in the day. On Now, I think they're calling it. And I put it on. I was like, wow, this is kind of fun. It reminds me a lot of the Japanese Spider-Man, right? We watched some of the Japanese Spider-Man, which, by the way, that was one of the best streams we ever did, bro. When we did a bunch of reacting to the Japanese Spider-Man. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let me just say, for show notes' sake here, guys, we will be doing a member stream tonight. We got some topics to get into today. And we're going to do a member stream tonight at 7:30. And what I want to do for that stream is I want to watch a cartoon Marvel movie. Yeah, that's right. I want to watch an old cartoon Marvel movie, okay? And I'll show you which one it is. This movie. I want to watch this movie, Next Avengers, Heroes of Tomorrow. And that is because I think there's some clues in here about some of the things that Marvel's going to plan for Doomsday and Secret Wars, just based off some of the leaks. This character here of James Rogers, the son of Captain America. I'm interested. This is a movie from 2008. This is a movie produced by Kevin Feige, released in 2008. And I just think there's some clues here. So, look, if you're not into it, no big deal. But that's what I want to do tonight for the members. So come on by for that if you are interested. Maybe it'll just be a fun cartoon movie with no connections to anything. And that'll be fine. Yeah, I can't show it on stream. At least I don't think so. I'd have to check on what the copyright situation is with that. So you'd have to have access to that. I don't know what platform it's on, frankly. Maybe we should check. So Josh got high, watched this with the kids, and now thinks there's clues for the MCU. Got it. No, I mean, I would like to do that, but I haven't done it. I haven't done it yet. This movie has been in my conscience for a while because back in the day there was a HeroClix that I had, and the HeroClix was of a character known as Crusade. Okay, and she's a badass, bro. And I looked at it, they have like flavor text and like the lore and shit like that, and I was like, who is this character? So the character is the son, or rather the daughter of Rogue and Steve Rogers. And I was like, yo, this is fucking crazy. And I was like, where does this come from? And I don't think it comes from this exact movie, but then when I started researching it, this movie popped up. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And then this is the children of the Avengers that stayed after Secret Wars. And then some of the new stuff that's been coming out, because like Steve Rogers apparently has kids with Peggy, right? Like that's a big thing we've been talking about. So that's what has taken me to this. Now, maybe there's nothing there. Is it on Netflix? Oh, that would be cash money if it was on Netflix. Yeah, Steve Rogers clapped cheeks, apparently. So we got to figure that out. We got to see what's going on. Damn, Steve laying pipe all across the multiverse with all these Marvel chicks, huh? I mean, in the comics, yeah, there was a thing with Rogue. There was a thing with Natasha. I'm trying to think if there was anything else, but yeah, he's had a couple kids. It's literally nowhere. Get the fuck out of here. What do you mean nowhere? Is it on YouTube then? It's literally nowhere. Well, maybe we'll just watch Warhammer then, you know? By the way, did you guys see my towel? I said this earlier, but not a lot of people were in here, so let me say it again. I'm building a towel army. Look at this. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at that gun. You have to make the sound effects when you play, too. Dude, this is the Storm Surge. Holy shit. Oh, it's on YouTube? Let's fucking go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all watching this shit tonight for free. It's only an hour and 18 minutes too. Beautiful. The whole shit was on YouTube. Don't share the link, Adam. I'll share it with everybody tonight because we don't want some butthole to take it down. That's the link. No, it's not. Relax. Relax. Chill your freaking butthole out. Okay, should we get into some shit, man? We got some DC stuff. We got some Marvel stuff. We've got some Warhammer stuff, which is, of course, the most important stuff. If you're really, really most excited for the Warhammer stuff, throw a 1 into the chat. Just want to piss the people off that don't like the Warhammer pivot. Throw a 1 into the chat. Okay, we'll start with DC. We'll talk Marvel Zombies. And then we'll talk Warhammer. Woo! Look at all those ones. It's a million ones. Okay, let me double check one thing here. Okay, great. Great. Fantastic. Wonderful. Amazing. Okay, chat. This one's kind of crazy. To me, this is crazy. So, I believe that a DCU actor may have just spoiled not just who they're playing, but the big overall crazy story thing that James Gunn is building to. Okay, and so this is pretty wild. I'm actually excited about this. Pretty sure this is real, and so let's get into this. Did you guys see this pop up? So Garrett Dillahunt may have confirmed his role as Black Hand in DC Studios' Lanterns. Okay, now he did post this on Insta. Okay, he posted this on these Instagrams here. Wait, what? Why won't it let me? Oh, they're two separate images. Okay, right here. He posted this. This is from his Instagram, okay? And I think it's just like a fan casting post or something he got tagged in, right? And it has the guy that's been confirmed to be Sinestro. This guy's confirmed to be in it, and we have no idea who he is. This thing claims that it's Atrocitus, which is another like holy fucking shit. If he's Atrocitus, that's insane. But more to the point, this is himself. This is the guy. And Black Hand. Okay. So the way I'm looking at this, and he posts this on Instagram with the face like this, you know what I mean? He's doing the Rizzler. No, he's confused. Like, So, what does this mean? Now, you might say, this doesn't mean anything. Maybe this guy's just having fun or whatever. I mean, does anybody really believe that? Like, does anybody really believe that this guy's going to just randomly post some shit like this on his social media? I'm just curious because, sure, maybe that's in the realm of possibilities, but like even that feels so weird. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? Okay. Now, let me tell you what I think happened here. And I think this actually happens a lot with actors and agents and people in the industry. He probably does not even realize the significance of sharing this. Okay? Meaning, like, he doesn't realize that, like, if he is the Black Hand, if he's Black Hand, then that basically confirms like a myriad of other things pointing us in the direction of Blackest Night as the big thing that Gunn is building towards, which a lot of us thought. A lot of us already thought that what was going on here, but I would assume he's like, oh, it's just like a harmless, like, yeah, what if this is it? Not realizing that like super nerds like myself are going to point out quotes like this. Okay, so this is something that James Gunn said about the Lantern Show. He said, this is a story about a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. So this is a quote that a lot of people have been coming back to because although this show is just like a terrestrial-based little, you know, it almost feels like a little lower budget than what you might expect for some grand cosmic crazy lantern thing. Gunn did say that it ties into a mystery that is for the wider story of the DCU. So whatever's going on in Lanterns, major implications, okay? Now, there were already rumors that this had tied into Black Hand and Blackest Night, and it's just like one of those things, guys, where like when you see Thanos at the end of the Avengers, the first Avengers movie, any comic book fan was like, oh my god, Infinity Gauntlet, the stones, like the glove, like the snap, that's what we're going towards. Holy crap, right? Like Marvel fans just have an association with that character and they're like, oh, that's the story there. Dude, Black Hand, it's the same thing. It's like, obviously it's Blackest Night. Okay, so that's obviously what he's cooking. And by the way, Blackest Night does include alternate versions of Superman. Because I believe Kal-El from Earth 2, or maybe it's Earth 3, if Trev's in here, he can help us out here, dies and then is brought back in Black Lantern form and is, let's just say, a fucking problem. That shit was crazy. So there's multiversal stuff that could tie into this as well. But just at its very basic level here, the fact that Black Hand could be included in this could set up the entire Blackest Night storyline, and that's like where this thing is going, and that's where it's all cooking. Now, another rumor that was connected to this, and it's hard to say whether this was real or not. This one I'm like really unsure of, right? But the other rumor was that the mystery they were going to be looking into was the death of Alan Scott. And that the old Green Lantern Alan Scott was killed, and maybe John Stewart and Hal are investigating that, and maybe it has something to do with Black Hand, the other rings, Necron, something really, really crazy could be going on here and could be being cooked. But this is why little spoilers like this and like little leaks and things like that can have massive ramifications and can get the entire fandom to kind of think in a certain way and think of what this could mean. I'm excited, dude. This actually has me really hyped up. Now, Lanterns in general was already like my most anticipated project out of it. Supergirl I'm actually excited for too. I think Supergirl's going to be really cool. But dude, it's always been about the Lanterns for me. And it's one of the things that's frustrated me about DC for so long was like Ryan Reynolds and that whole movie. It almost felt like they ruined the Lanterns so much that this huge part of DC, this really important part of DC was like pushed down. And so to have like a serious HBO level Lantern show is fascinating. You know, the Lantern guy is obviously in the first Superman, and that's a thing. The Oath, everything. This is all caked in to Gunn's vision for what DC should be, and I think that's great because I love the fucking Lanterns. This is the next piece here. I think this means what we think it means. I don't think that this dude's just randomly posting shit. And if he is, he chose one of the wildest things to just randomly post with regards to it. So that's what is out there. Also kind of weird and ironic because it's essentially a zombie story in a lot of ways. So big day for zombies yesterday with like this leaking out and then the Marvel Zombies trailer as well, which is interesting. I really wonder, what do you all think of this? What do you think? Lanterns and Supergirl will clear Superman? I mean, it's very possible. I mean, it's possible Superman just had to be what it had to be to establish that, what Gunn wanted to establish in the world, you know? And I love the Superman movie, but my take has been since seeing it like, wow, incredible start, really good stuff here, but it has to be better. Of course, right? Like the next one has to be better. The story in general has to be better. Lanterns has the potential to be Game of Thrones level epic. Yeah, I mean, you know, just a little thing that came out, and I hope they don't I hope this dude doesn't get in trouble or whatever, because I think this shit's fun. Like, I think it's fun to get excited and be like, yo, like Blackest Night, like let's fucking go. But do you guys remember the video that came out on Instagram with the stunt coordinator guy, and they're doing the flight with the rings? Dude, even just that had me hyped, because I was like, bro, like they want them to have aura. Like, they want them to look badass. That's what was clear to me when I watched what the stunt people were doing with the rings and the flight and the takeoff. Like, I was like, dude, like they want it to look like a badass splash page and just have aura, you know? So, yeah, man, this, I think they're cooking with this show. I think they are cooking. And this guy playing Sinestro is incredible, dude. And I think he looks the part. Oh, I'm excited. Lanterns aura farming? Exactly, yeah. Didn't Gunn say you won't need to watch the shows to know what's going on in the movies? I mean, Gunn said a lot, man. I don't, you know, I don't know what to tell you about that. I would say the comments he made about the Lantern show and the mystery, those are old comments. And I think it was like, he probably shouldn't have said it. But then again, like, you want people to be excited about it. So maybe it is, maybe you do say it. I don't know. You think normies can handle more zombies while understanding the Roy G. Biv lore of Lanterns? Yes, I do. I think the Lanterns lore is awesome. And I think the emotional spectrum is incredible. I mean, you could argue that the Infinity Stones and the Infinity Gauntlet is a way harder concept to get normies to be down with. Marvel figured it out, and James helped with that too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think they can. Yeah. I'm on the emotional spectrum, aren't we all? Normies left. That's why nothing makes any money anymore. Might as well go for the fans now. You know, to a degree, you're right, Adam, but I would also argue, like, so I've been thinking about this, right? Because I think there was a version of Fantastic Four that was more multiversal, okay? And I think Marvel might have listened to some of the feedback out there and pulled back on the multiversal elements, and, like, I don't think it mattered because the movie didn't make, like, a ton of money. Multiverse of Madness made a ton of money. No Way Home makes a ton of money. Man, I don't know that it is the case that audiences can't follow along, especially if the ask is just to get it enough so that the toys can slam against each other. What I'm saying is, like, the audience wants the quick understanding of why all the Spider-Man are together. I don't know that they care about how it all works. Just make enough sense that they're together, and then we get the 3 Spider-Man jumping around together. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I question whether or not, because, like, audiences say a lot of stuff, but I just don't know that they always even fully understand the issue, right? Because you see all this all the time, like, oh, multiversal fatigue. Deadpool, Wolverine, Cross the Spider-Verse, Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man No Way Home. These are literally the biggest fucking movies of the genre and some of the biggest movies in Hollywood over the past 5 years. So which is it? Are people really sick of the multiverse? Do people really not understand it? Or is that not actually what's happening there? You know? Bro trying to sneak in Multiverse of Madness. I mean, it made almost $1 billion without China, brother. It made more than Guardians 3. It made more than Love and Thunder. It made more than Superman. It made more than Fantastic Four. It made more than Thunderbolts. It made more than Brave New World and Thunderbolts combined. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that sometimes, like, what people say isn't exactly, you know what I mean? It's a little bit like what women say they want, and then what I'm gonna get canceled. Let's stop. The bad analogy. I don't know anything about what I'm talking about. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but you know what I'm talking about. Josh, I've seen some influencers saying James Gunn's Superman box office and movie passes Marvel, Iron Man, and why the DCU will thrive. I'm not totally sure what you're saying there, but Superman is a great start. You know, we're all eyeballs now are on what happens next. Superman is a great start. I think Superman was a great start. At the same time, I still think they're a little disappointed in it, you know, for sure. You know, Dan Merle did an incredible breakdown of the box office between Man of Steel and Superman. And, like, it's a really good video. And essentially, Man of Steel and Superman basically operated at the same level, guys. Like, it is they literally did about the same business because, as Dan points out, when you add for inflation on what it makes, you have to add the inflation to the cost as well, which I thought was really, like, it's just a really good video. And Superman and Man of Steel, both kind of disappointing at the end of the day. Like, fine, but disappointing. And it's all about what happens next. It's just what happens next. And I think Superman and the DCU, they've got some good stuff. I mean, look, Supergirl is a question mark for me, mostly because of where the audience is at right now. Will mainstream audiences embrace derivative female Superman movie? I don't know. I will. I think it's dope. But by the way, I've been at every goddamn Marvel movie and DC movie. Well, that's not true with DC, but I go to these fucking movies. I'm the one that's left, as Adam pointed out, right? I don't know that normies are going to show up for a Supergirl movie. I just don't know. I hope they do. Clayface is a big question mark. Clayface does nothing for me. But it's a low-budget horror movie. Mike Flanagan's name. People are excited about the set photos that came out. If it pops, it pops, you know? I think Lanterns could do heavy lifting for this thing. And then it's all about what Gunn does next. What is this super family thing? How can that work, right? Like, they've made enough to keep going. They're going to keep going. It's just what happens next. That's the question. What recent DC movies did you not watch? I mean, basically all of the leftover shit I didn't watch. I didn't watch Blue Beetle. I didn't watch Shazam 2. I didn't watch Joker 2. I didn't watch Aquaman 2. I didn't watch basically anything after when Gunn came out and said, hey, all of these movies really fucking matter. And then, but my shit's awesome for 10 years. After that, nothing. I didn't watch anything. Black Adam was cool, though. Y'all hating on Black Adam. Black Adam was cool. Blue Beetle was good, just bad timing. Blue Beetle, I'm considering giving a shot someday. Yo, more to the point, though, before we wrap this segment, what do you guys think of Blackest Night? Can Blackest Night work? Is it too crazy? People like zombies. People like zombies. People like superheroes fighting each other. What do you think? Blue Beetle was fun. Black Adam was underrated but not great. Yeah, for sure. It can work. Just don't let Gunn direct it. Yeah, I think Gunn should try to be hands off on that. Yeah, pass it off to somebody else. HBO knows how to do zombies. True, double true, Adam. Adam, did you see my towel? Should I whip it out again? Did you see the Clayface Gotham maps? Yeah, it looks like the merger's not happening, but again, who knows, right? Okay, well, there you have it, man. I think that I think we might know what's going on with the future of DC, man. Blackest Night, and I am fucking here for it. And I'll say this, too. If all the normies reject it and everybody's like, this is too fucking comic booky, I don't give a fuck. I will watch it. Because this is awesome. Okay, there you go. All right. Now, let's chill for a second. We'll talk some Marvel Zombies. I'm tired after that. You know, let me take a couple sips of coffee. Let me recover. Did y'all see my towel, though? The towel that I'm working on? Some towel? Y'all see that? What about Warhammer? Oh, it's next up. After this Marvel Zombies thing, we'll talk Warhammer. Or do you want to do Warhammer next and then do Marvel Zombies? Is that what I'm hearing out there? Is that what I'm seeing out there? Should we put it to a vote? I had to work until 4 a.m. There was a gas leak. That's tough, brother. That is tough. Warhammer! Uh-oh. Everybody going to be all mad if I do this poll? I know a couple people that are going to be super mad about this. Let's see. What do we talk about next? Marvel Zombies, which looks dope. Brad Pitt in Warhammer. Do Warhammer first so I don't have to listen to it. I'm going to lunch in the next hour. What the how do you feel about pumpkin spice in coffee? Not a big fan, but I do enjoy. You know what I enjoy, Rossi? I'll let you know so that when next time we're at a convention together, you can buy me one of these from Starbucks or something and make my day, okay? I like the pumpkin spice either muffins or donuts with like cream cheese frosting or like some cream cheese, John. Whew. That shit I can handle, but no, I don't want the coffee. Pumpkin spice cheesecake? Yeah, dude. Or like a pumpkin spice roll. You know what else sounds incredible? Is a good fucking nut roll. Y'all ever get a nut roll? Oh my God. Hey Josh, I've been looking all over. What's the name of your Warhammer channel? I've been trying to tune in. It's called Warhammer Explained. And new videos before the end of the month. New videos coming to Warhammer Explained by the end of the month, man. I got one done, but I want to try to get one more close to done before we launch. Den of Nut Rolls. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I beg your pardon? Why don't you bake my nut roll? You decided you're going to go to New York Comic Con? We can meet up at a bar like last time. So hyped. I haven't decided yet. There's a lot of things I want to do. Okay, I'm trying to get Unity back on track, which we're close. We have some movement on it. I'm actually excited about it. I have to get my Warhammer channel launched. I got to get Nerd Theory going back on. You know? But I can't do Nerd Theory until I get the comic book figured out. And then, maybe, we'll figure out New York Comic Con. Next year will be better, unless another kid happens. Man, I got to tell you, these kids, love them, but, you know, they'll jam up your plans a little bit. When are we doing a rival stream? I don't know. Okay, I actually do want to get back on Rivals, though. I do want to get back on Rivals. It seems like there's some really cool shit coming to Rivals. Dude, is that Cyclops real? Is Cyclops really coming to Marvels? Slim? Slim? In Marvel Rivals? And by the way, tomorrow, there's a big update on Space Marine 2. New modes, new weapons, Space Marine 2 tomorrow. Let's go. All right, it looks like everybody wants Marvel Zombies. 60-40, though. Marvel fans, are you getting nervous, man? You getting nervous when you keep seeing these polls get closer and closer? All right, let's talk about Marvel Zombies, Brad. So, as many of you know, I am on a Disney Plus break. The Daredevil show broke me, man. That was a painful one for me. And look, I love Charlie Cox. I love all those guys that are involved, and I don't, I'm not trying to like wish any bad stuff on any of them. But wow, did Daredevil really break me? I thought the show was terrible. Not only was it terrible, but I got bamboozled. I got bamboozled into thinking they were going to remake it. It was going to be awesome. We brought back watch parties for that. And I was so fucking pissed. I had a couple crash outs during Daredevil that are still, to this day, maybe some of the best crash outs I've ever had. So I've been on a break. A lot of Marvel showed this. Star Wars showed that. Nope, don't care. Not watching it. And I haven't watched shit, dude. I forget which ones have come out. There was like Eyes of Wakanda, Ironheart. Maybe there was one more, which is crazy to say. Maybe there was one more in there. And I've just been like, nah, fuck that. And if you had asked me before I saw this trailer, are you going to watch Marvel Zombies? It would have been a strict hell no. It would have been like, nope, I'm still on my break. Fuck that. Don't give a shit. Fuck that. I hate this animation. Fuck that. Fuck that. And then I watched this trailer, and to my surprise, this trailer is fucking incredible. Let's watch this together, huh?
coming for us.
All right, we got a world to save.
Oh, shit.
Namor.
Oh, my.
Shit.
Oh my God!
Oh, no. Oh, my fucking God. Oh shit! Oh my! Oh my!
Whoa. That's how you do that then.
Wow.
What the fuck? What? How? How and why is it so good? What is happening over there? I mean, maybe this is just like an incredible trailer. Maybe the show is not going to be this fucking metal, hardcore, awesome feeling, but you gotta admit, that is a really, really cool trailer. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh shit, maybe my break's over. Like, legitimately, it's that good to me. And there's a couple of things here going on. I mean, obviously, the TVMA thing really helps. But the other thing is, like, it feels like they're just going for it. And it looks just, like, stylish and cool as fuck. Like, bro, one of my problems with Marvel has been, like, back in the day, it really did make fan dreams come true. And there would be stuff going on, and you'd be like, wow, I actually cannot believe that they have figured this out. I mean, even getting Spider-Man was like, and that happened at like a really great moment or whatever, but like, that's like fucking impossible. What do you mean you worked out a deal with the holder of the license to allow you to use the fucking character in the Avengers movies? What is this? How did you even do that? It's impossible. Marvel used to like make dreams come true, and you know, over the past couple of years, it's just kind of felt like stale, and they're not really pushing boundaries or doing anything crazy. You know, what if itself encapsulates this idea? Because like the problem with What If, it's such a cool concept, and there have been incredible What If stories, Elseworld stories, some of my favorite things in comics. The problem with What If was that it was so addicted to just being MCU. Like it just wanted to like take all the MCU things and twist them up and act like there wasn't this whole fucking universe of awesome material and things that they could do that weren't directly connected to some Disney Plus show or MCU Phase 4, 5 thing. That's what held it back. It was like, dude, this isn't What If. This is like a little if, or like a little twist, you know, kind of a thing. This feels like all the way. You know, like, dude, look at all these fucking zombies. You had the shots in New York with the helicopters coming in. You've got Avengers ripping heads off. I think this is like the kind of energy, the kind of stuff that's going to be awesome. And here's the thing too, like you talk about the cast a little bit, like, you know, Miss Marvel, I'm a little over it. You know, I think Pugh and Harbor together are incredible, so I think they're tapping into something there. It would have been great to get Mahershala, but Blade as Moon Knight is crazy, and I think that will be hyped up. Maybe this cast, like, it's crazy that like a show like this could rehabilitate these characters, even though it's not even the versions that we know. And it's just like, man, you had the ability to do this for so long and you didn't do it. And it's just like, it's a little frustrating, but this show is doing stuff that I think, I mean, I have been wanting and hoping for a while would be done. You know, and I think the hyper-violence in the zombie setting or whatever kind of helps it here. This is really fucking wild, dude. Spider-Man ripping heads off. How many heads did he just rip off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20. Like 24 heads, bro? Holy. Insane. I love it. Thor versus Scarlet Witch. Zombie Scarlet Witch is going to be fucking incredible. Ant-Man getting sliced up. Moon Knight, Blade combination. Like, dude, it just seems like it's going for it. And I'm kind of shocked. Like, I'm genuinely shocked. And I think I am going to check this out. Now, I don't know. People are asking me, like, are we going to do a watch party for this or whatever? I don't know if we're going to do a watch party. It depends on when it's released. If it's at a regular time and maybe it's a couple of weeks, maybe we do some watch parties for it. If it's really badass, maybe we do some watch parties rewatching it together. Like at one point, maybe we binge the whole thing or something. But I mean, I'm willing to give this a shot. I think this is probably the direction that Marvel Animation should take. Like, do the really crazy stuff that you can't always do in live action with your Marvel characters and really open it up. I think this is the way to do it. You could do, Marvel 1600s. You could do Avengers 1 million, BC, that stuff. There's so much juice in Marvel Comics. I think that's one of the things that's been so frustrating about the MCU is like, there's so much juice that you guys aren't using, and Marvel Zombies was a big part of that. So this is cool to me. Anyway, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you agree? You think I'm crazy? Should we do watch parties for this? What do you guys think? That seemed like they showed too much. Maybe. I mean, maybe they did. Maybe, basically better be standalone story. I think it has to be. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's going to be tied to the MCU too. Well, I mean, in a sense, yes, but because it's this zombie universe, I truly think they could, like, do whatever they want. I think they could do whatever they want. My favorite comment about the Spider-Man scene is that Peter could do this at any time, but that's just not who he is. Oh, yeah, I mean, Spider-Man is one of the scariest characters. Like, if he ever went dark side for real, that would be very scary. That's a part of what makes it so interesting when Doc Ock gets into Peter's body, right? Because Spider-Man is, like, if Spider-Man wanted to, he could be a real problem, It's not even the show where you can show too much. Yeah, maybe. Still chasing stones is wild. I mean, if he has the stones and those are from that universe, or, I don't even know if that's how it works in the MCU, to be honest. But yeah, dude, a zombie with stones is still crazy. That's still a problem. Somebody said it's the story up to the What If Zombie episode. It could be. Absolutely could be that, yeah. Could just be a different universe, though. Activate insta-kill. Some of these people never read Marvel Zombie comics, and it shows. Yeah, but I mean, like, let's not be, like, gatekeepy like that. Like, oh, you didn't read this Marvel Zombies comics, so I'm a better fan than you. Like, dude, it's cool. Marvel Zombies is fun and cool, and they can go read the comics. Who cares? I do hope they get the nod in the Doom movie, the Sea of Zombies, in a different... I mean, look, that's another thing that's out there. There was somebody saying that the zombies are going to show up in either Doomsday or Secret Wars. And in Secret Wars, there is a whole place where the zombies are. I forget what it's called, but it's like past the shield. There's an area where it's all Marvel Zombies. And some of the people, like at the very beginning, Braddock, he loses the duel, and his punishment is being sent into that place. And he gets, like, flipped off of the shield into there, and he has to, like, try to survive the zombies. It's crazy. Yeah. I wish Spider-Man would do that with the black suit alien. Yeah? Yeah? That'd be kind of wild, huh? That'd be kind of wild. I wish they had this connected to the overall story, like Friendly Neighborhood, Spider-Man, and X-Men 97. Feels like they could be connected to live-action stuff. I think the way it's meant to be thought of as is like it's a variant universe, and it's like a mirror of the character The Deadlands, is that what it was called? Yeah, and the Ultron bots, yep. I wish they connect... Oh, yeah, I already read that, yeah. Yes. I'm actually excited for this one, guys. This is kind of out of nowhere, seeming really cool. So I'm going to check it out. Maybe we'll do some watch parties for it. I would hope that Marvel keeps going in this direction. The first season of What If had, like, some moments, man. I really don't like season 2 and 3, but the first season of What If for me had some moments. So it's not like they can't do dope Marvel stuff. And some of the Marvel cartoons from back in the day have been absolutely incredible. You know what else? Before we leave this segment, I just want to say, man, and I'll even pull this up for you, man. Y'all been seeing those? They have for Marvel, they've been doing these animations of like the Fantastic Four and like some of the other things. Oh my god. For like, oh, today marks the blah 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 history of blah blah blah. Let me see if I can find this. I want to see Marvel, like actual Marvel animation, do something in the style of these animations that they've been doing, because they are badass, dude. And there's so much, you know what it is? They aura farm so much better than what this other animation with like the CG and all that kind of shit. Man, let me see if I can find this for you here. The music was great in that shit too. Okay. Look, here. Check this out. So this is what I'm talking about. This is from that. This is a GIF, but it's from that animation. I can't make this larger. Hello. Have you seen this animation style? And they like do this, right? Where and they'll have like Miss Minutes in these things, and they're like, "Oh, today marks the 40th year anniversary of the Fantastic Four. Here's what you need to know about them." Bro, where's the animated shit in this style? This is badass, dude. This is more badass than that CG animation, whatever they're doing. Like just some hand-drawn animation with somebody that understands anime and aura farming and all that. Come on. Come on. So who knows? Maybe Marvel Animation will also turn it around in the next couple of years. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Warhammer time. Are y'all ready for this? Are you all ready for this? The Titmouse Star Wars Adventure animation was good. Yeah. They actually did do some great animation for those. What do you think of the movie series in the style of Marvel Rivals? Yeah, for sure. I think that could work, yeah. It's hammer time. It's hammer time, boys and girls. We got to talk about some shit. Okay, so obviously Warhammer is the best. Warhammer is the future. Everybody knows Warhammer is going to take off and be the next big thing because I've been telling everybody about it. Well, this is because Henry Cavill making a live-action Warhammer thing, and he's the executive producer. He's going to star in this thing, and he's described it as a Warhammer cinematic universe. I keep trying to hammer this point home because a lot of people are just fixated on a show. It's not a show. It's actually not a show. It's a cinematic universe. And they're going to start with a show, and they want to do movies. It's going to be a multimedia thing. Anyway, it's fucking real. And a source reached out to me and told me something that I couldn't fucking believe when I first heard it. And what it was, I'll just show you right here. It's this, that Brad Pitt, okay, is being eyed for a big role in Cavill's Warhammer Cinematic Universe. And so I heard this from somebody that's pretty reliable, but I was like, I don't know, because this person's gotten stuff wrong before, even though they're very good. And also this person likes to fuck with me. You know who you are. And so I was like, is this one of those things, or is this person being honest here? So I reached out to a bunch of folks. I got it confirmed by some other really good people. And I was like, oh my fucking God, it's real. It comes from casting, by the way. Comes from casting. There could be more to it than casting, as some people have pointed out. Brad Pitt's production company, is currently doing some stuff that could imply that maybe there's more than casting, but this comes from casting, so I want to be very clear. Pitt is being courted to play a character for Cavill's Warhammer Cinematic Universe. Now, one of the things that's really interesting about this is a lot of people got excited about this. I was surprised at how many people got excited about it. It's like a meme in our community. Like, a lot of the Marvel fans are mad that I'm getting into Warhammer or whatever. And so a lot of people are constantly like, Warhammer, whatever, this, that, second, and the third. This news actually got a lot of those people to be interested, which I was surprised at. I mean, I like Brad Pitt, but I didn't realize that Brad Pitt was still like a draw for a lot of people. Now, as some people pointed out, even on our Discord, they're like, Brad Pitt's taken this turn and he's done like a lot more like kind of manly movies, I guess you could say. Like he's starting to like, I don't know, like rebrand a little bit more into like a tough guy kind of stuff. And that's been successful for him. And I started thinking about it. I was like, yeah, I could kind of see that in some of the roles he's picking, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's interesting. And I think that Brad Pitt is still, especially after coming off of F1, I think a lot of people are just, they're excited. And he's an old school movie star. And that's interesting, right? So I was like, man, like that's kind of interesting that people got excited about Pitt being in this thing. It like almost brings a legitimacy to the project just by virtue of him being such a big star. I gotta pause this GIF too because like this is just getting crazy. So that is what it is. Confirmed from two very reliable people in the casting. Pitt is being looked at for the Warhammer Cinematic Universe. Now, the next obvious question is, who's he gonna play? You know, who would he play? And the thing about Pitt is like he could almost play anybody, right? Like there's a lot of different people that he could play. But I got the impression from the person I talked to that this was a big role. This was something big, which would make sense. I mean, Pitt is a pretty big actor, right? So you would have to think something big. And as I'll get into in a minute here too, because there's some evidence, and I've been talking about this, I truly think I know, generally speaking, what the time period is for this show, for the first piece of this puzzle when it comes to the Warhammer Cinematic Universe. But I think there's a couple of options for Pitt here. Two options that would be cool, but maybe not what I want, but I could see them going in this direction. And this is going to sound fucking crazy. Okay, this is going to sound crazy. It's not like the Warhammer fan. Dude, this is going to sound crazy, but trust me, just trust me. I think this could be what it is. He could literally be playing the Emperor of Mankind. Okay? And you might be like, wait, what? Like, you don't want Pitt playing the Emperor of Mankind. Actually, Pitt could be a great person to play the Emperor. And if he does play the Emperor, he will likely not actually be in a lot of the show. Okay? Because I believe the Emperor will already be on the Golden Throne when we start the show. But you'll have flashbacks and shit like that. And so, essentially, Brad, if he was the Emperor, the thought process from Cavill is very likely, let's bring him in, we'll have some of the flashbacks because, like, there's going to be, it's going to be, I would imagine there'll be, like, a prologue, something similar to the first Lord of the Rings movie that, like, just really quickly gets you on board. And I think, you know, just like they showed Sauron in that, they would show the Emperor and Horus in this. So maybe Pitt is like just in it for something like that. Okay. He could also be doing something very similar, but as Sanguinius. Okay. Now, some of you are like, I don't know who this is or whatever. It's essentially another Primarch that gets killed in the Horus Heresy. So it's a similar concept, actually, where, like, let's say Brad is like, I'm interested, but I can't sign a long-term deal. Maybe Brad's like, I'm interested, but I can't be in every episode or whatever. I would say if he were Sanguinius or if he were the Emperor, it allows them to do a couple of flashbacks, make it a big deal because those are big characters. And then, like, you just let it sit there and they don't have to be in it anymore because they're dead. Okay? Another option, though, that's actually really interesting is one of the other Primarchs, one of the living Primarchs. And this is where it gets weird because, like, I could see Pitt as almost like any of the Primarchs, but a couple that jump out to me is Rogel Dorn, deadass. I think he could be Dorn. Lionel Johnson. He could honestly be Lionel Johnson, both young Lion and then eventually maybe old Lion. Which is kind of ironic because I could see him as both of those characters, and those are both characters that are heavily involved in the time period that I think the Cavill show is going to tackle here. Okay, so let me then explain. Let me show you why I think what I think with this. Now, I've explained this before on videos, but so this symbol right here is very important. This symbol, the only time this symbol was ever shown to Warhammer fans was when Henry Cavill first announced the Warhammer Cinematic Universe. It was on Instagram, and here's the post here. I'll read it for you. Henry Cavill says, "For 30 years, I have dreamt of seeing a Warhammer universe in live action. Now, after 22 years of experience in this industry, I finally feel that I have the skill set and the experience to guide a Warhammer cinematic universe into life. Partnering with Natalia, who at Vertigo, and that's his, I guess they're partners and baby mama, has been a blessing beyond words. Without her, we might not have found the perfect home at Amazon. So she helped to get Amazon courted. And having a home like Amazon will give us the freedom to be true to the massive scope of Warhammer. That means money, big money. To all of you Warhammer fans out there, I promise to respect this IP that we love. I promise to bring you something familiar, and I endeavor to bring you something fantastic that is of yet unseen. The first steps are to find filmmaker, creator, writer. Watch this space, my friends, for the Emperor." And this was 3 years ago when he made this post. Okay, so this symbol here, made for this post, the only other time this symbol has been seen on anything official Warhammer was earlier this year on this book. This book is a collector's version of the Era of Ruin anthology. This is essentially a prologue to the Horus Heresy. The Horus Heresy, 64-plus novel series, crazy story told of all of that, and then Horus and the Emperor at the end of it. Horus is killed, the Emperor is put on the Golden Throne. This book was released this year. It's incredible, by the way. It's an anthology of all of these stories that take place, like, basically directly after the Emperor gets put on the Golden Throne. Okay, so just walk with me on this, okay? From Cavill's perspective, from their perspective here, why the Age of Ruin? Why the Scouring? Why would this be the place to start? It seems crazy. And, my friend Valrak has been doing videos on this sort of stuff, and he and I have been sort of sharing some info behind the scenes. And he made a big video about the scoop I had about Brad Pitt and everything, okay? And Valrak's, one of his points is, this is too deep. It's too much of like if you dive in here, the fans will be like completely lost. And it's like, this is too much. I would actually argue this is the perfect place to start. Because, so think about it. The first edition of Warhammer, Rogue Trader, but going into second edition, the Emperor is established as on the Golden Throne. So the whole idea was like, he's on the throne and he can't actually be the leader anymore. He's keeping everything alive, and then everything just decays into nothingness, okay? I almost feel like starting the story here, as the Emperor is put on the throne, first of all, you could actually possibly explore that whole time period and, like, imagine what it would be like to see that, to see the Emperor put on the throne, to have the Primarchs explain to the Imperium and everything what has happened and, like, what is going on, to live in, like, that place, like, after this big civil war, as things are being rebuilt and everything. Dude, I actually think it's the perfect place to introduce fans into Warhammer, because you can do things like refer to what had just happened, even show flashbacks to different battles, but you don't have to deal with the scope and the complexity of the actual Horus Heresy. It also allows you to have the Primarchs, those that were around then, and this includes Constantine Valdor and other characters like this. Unfortunately, not Malcador, right, because he dies during the Heresy. But it allows you to focus on those chapters at a time when a lot of really important lore stuff is happening, like the Codex Astartes, the first founding, the fucking Lion and the Dark Angels, destroying a bunch of planets and hunting the traitors, and then dealing with Caliban and all of that sort of stuff. Like, there's a lot of incredible stuff that happens there, and I think it's a good place to start that story. I don't know if they'd ever actually do the Horus Heresy. If they did, they could do it in the future via movies or stuff like that. But that's, like, I think, actually a good area to bring fans in. And it's also an area that hardcore Warhammer fans would be really interested to see more of, right? And I would imagine it's going to time jump. I imagine you get into 40K as well. And eventually I think this all leads to like the resurrection of Gilliman. But really, if this is a story that's going to lead to the resurrection of Gilliman, which I think would be like the movie stuff, doesn't it make sense to show Gilliman getting killed by Fulgrim? Like, don't you need to show the demon Primarchs? Don't you need to sort of show like that buildup and then have him die in order for his resurrection to like be impactful and crazy? I think you got to show it either way. But yeah, so that is the TLDR. Now, to take it all the way back, because we probably got way too fucking nerdy there, and there's people that are like, what the fuck are you talking about, okay? The point is this. There's some evidence to suggest that this era is where they're going to start. But it's a grand universe with a lot of lore, and I think they're eventually going to get to 40K. I mean, you might even have the show literally go from the Scouring to 40K, which would be crazy, but totally possible. But yeah, so that's what I think is going on. I think Pitt could be playing a character like the Emperor or maybe Sanguinius, and then maybe he's like dead and he's not like a big part of it. But Pitt could be Dorn. Pitt could be Lionel Johnson. I mean, I could even see Pitt as Lehman Russ, which seems crazy, but like I could actually see it. So I think it's a big get. The other thing is that it shows you the caliber of actor that Cavill is going after. I mean, dude, I tell you guys this all the time, but like if you don't understand it, like you got to watch some of the interviews. In fact, like, dude, I'm going to pull something up for you right now so that you guys can fully appreciate this. Because like after the Pitt news came out yesterday, there were people on our Discord that were like, wait a minute, what is Cavill's role exactly in this thing? And I'm like, dude, he's like the Kevin Feige of this. He's that guy, okay? And I want to show you there's a short that can help to susplain this. And this actually is on Valorac's channel too.
It is.
Bro, okay. We watch the Josh Horowitz stuff a lot, right? Josh does great interviews. So I want you to just hear this. Okay? I just want you to hear this. This is Henry Cavill being asked by Josh Horowitz about the Warhammer show.
It's early days, but Warhammer, I mean, there's nothing more close to your heart than this, I know.
It is the greatest privilege of my professional career to have this opportunity. I can't say too much again. It's early days still. But to have this opportunity to bring it to the screen and be at the tiller so it can be faithful is key to me. And this is the stuff I've been dealing with since I was a kid. It's this sort of is the stuff I spend my free time daydreaming about as an adult as well. And I get to bring it into life. And there is no greater reason than I joined the industry than doing something like this. And I'm very happy to be here.
It's early days, but Warhammer, I mean, there's nothing more.
So the point is, this is his shit. This is his childhood. This is the shit he loves. Okay, and he is at the tiller, as he says. That's an expression. You know, you got to decipher the British out of this, but that just means he's like controlling it. He's at the tiller. He's controlling it so that it can be faithful. This is the most important thing in the world to this dude, and he is courting some of the best and most important talent that is out there right now. The Brad Pitt thing just shows the level of acclaim and the type of people that Henry is going after. You know, in Valorac's video recently, he talked about Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman is a Warhammer fan. There's photos of Oldman at Warhammer World. The Reacher guy, apparently there's a story where the Reacher guy talked about how Cavill got him interested in Warhammer. Anna de Armas. There's like other things. Like, dude, I joke about this a lot where I'm like, oh, you know what Cavill's currently doing right now? Because he's doing Highlander, right? And I keep joking. I'm like, dude, all Highlander is like a way to keep the profile growing, but also to get Chad fucking Stahelski cornered in a bar so that he could pitch him Warhammer. Chad Stahelski on Warhammer, like, fuck yeah. Russell Crowe being on in Highlander, that's Warhammer. Trust me. Cavill will talk to Crowe about Warhammer, because to him, and I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, there's no way it'll take over this, that, second, and third. Henry sees how this could be as culturally as impactful as when Lord of the Rings came into live action. Henry sees that this could be as culturally impactful as when Game of Thrones came into live action. He sees the potential for this thing to be that big, and he's going after the biggest talent that he can. And I'm just telling you, like, this shit is going to pop the fuck off. And I'm really excited. So anyway, that's the Brad Pitt news. What do you think of it? What do you think of it? Is everybody into Warhammer now? Are we all excited? Do you think Cavill and Pitt are going to kiss? God willing. God willing. When you get the Warhammer channel started, you should really reach out to Henry Cavill. I think he'd love to talk with you. Oh, yeah? Interesting. Anna de Armas as Celestine. Yeah, or like just any like Inquisitor or Sister of Battle would be sick, dude. For sure. It'd be sick. Excited for a new cinematic franchise. Hell yeah, man. It's gonna be cool. Russell Crowe for Logan Grimnar. That would be great casting, yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, isn't that crazy, dude? Like he is all about this shit. All about this shit. I'll get excited when I see what writers and directors they will get for that. Yeah, interesting that you say that. It's so refreshing, so full, so filled. You know, so full, so filled over here, Adam, you know what I mean? Josh, did you see The Rock finally got off the roids? Yeah. He switched it up. I mean, he's probably still on some stuff, but whatever that cycle was, that's not a sustainable cycle, man. That's not a 50-plus-year-old cycle. So he made the right call. Idris coming in hot as Vulcan. I mean, that would be sick, dude. Idris has already voiced something in Warhammer, you know, for the Amazon thing. So could be dope. Could be dope. He's probably on ranch now. What does that even mean? Secret level got me hyped. Hell yeah. Who do you think Cavill will play in Warhammer? He's gonna either play Constantine Valdor or he'll play Robot Gorilla Man. Rabude Gilliman. I think if I were a producer, I would say, Cavill, I know you want Valdor, but I think you have to be Gilliman. But if I were Cavill, I'd say, fuck you, I'm going to be Valdor. So, I don't know. We'll see. I need a Warhammer 101 class ASAP. Yeah, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Don't you worry. Keep cool, my babies. Keep cool. We'll get there. Henry will solidify his status as the GOAT after this. I agree. This is his thing. This is his, like, it's all led to this, you know? Yeah, dude. And Brad Pitt, like, dude, Brad Pitt's a good actor, man. Like, he's got chops. He can do the stoic thing really well, you know? It wasn't Idris, but it sounded like him. Are you sure it wasn't Idris? How do you know it wasn't Idris? How do you know? I can't wait for the Cliff Booth movie. Yeah, people are excited about that, huh? You know what? There's another thing that within this story. Here, I'll yap just a little bit more about this. You know what? I can't actually tell you the Idris thing. I know something about that Idris thing, but I can't say. Oh, I know he's credited as somebody else, but I'm not allowed to explain that. Or maybe it is somebody else that sounds exactly like Idris. All right, what was I saying? Okay, here's something that very interesting. So, what Warhammer's trying to do with like shows and movies, it really got me thinking, right? Can that model work? You know what I mean? Like, can the streaming show turn into the movie thing? And we're starting to see a little bit of this, right? Whether it's K-pop Demon Hunter or The Mandalorian Grogu, even Game of Thrones is rumored to be doing some stuff in live action or for the movie theaters, right? What if that's like the formula? Like, we're sitting here and a lot of it's like the streaming wars or like streaming destroyed cinema movies. You know, like Netflix is nervous to like do more weekends of K-pop Demon Hunter because they don't want, you know, to hurt their or their streaming or whatever. Maybe that's the future. Like, maybe the future is like the streaming sets the thing up and then the event part of it becomes the theatrical, you know? And I also think like theatricals could be interesting. Like, what if like, so these shows, right? Thinking about like Alien Earth or something like that. What if they did theatrical releases for those? What is the harm in that? You know what I mean? Like, they've already kind of do this. Like, you already see this hybrid kind of a thing. But like, I'm serious. So like, okay, what's the next show that we're all excited for? Let's just say it's Alien Earth. Let's just say it's Alien Earth. Well, if it's a particularly cool episode of Alien Earth, what if it was running that week in the theater? And you might be like, oh, well, distribution. Brother, why are we sending out fucking reels anyway? What are we doing here? Those should be massive OLED screens. And sure, you could have boutiques where it runs on film. Why are we running this on film? Why are we in a digital era? Why are we doing distribution that's not digital? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, The Chosen does it for theaters, right? They did it for Ahsoka, but they only do it for the beginning. They make you... It should be that you should... You know what it is? They should Burger King this shit. Have it your way. Have it your way, motherfucker. If I want to watch this episode at home, I watch it at home. Maybe I really like the episode when I watched it at home, and so I want to catch it again in the theater. Maybe I want to watch the next one in the theater, and then I never watch that one at home, and I catch back up at home the next week. It should be your way. If I want to go watch it in the theater, I should have the option to go watch it in the theater with amenities and cool-ass visuals of sound. It's like an enhanced thing. Like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of when DVDs were first popping off. I remember I watched The Matrix on VHS, but then I really wanted to watch The Matrix on DVD because of the sound. It had surround sound. And I was like, dude, I gotta hear the airport scene in surround sound on that Dolby whatever bullshit that was on DVD. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I think the hybrid form could help both of them. Well, I don't want to pay movie theater prices for anything. Yeah, nobody does. But you would if it mattered enough. And there's always a way to like make it appealing. So maybe that's the membership thing. So you can come 5 times a month for free for $20 a month. It makes your ticket price like $3. And then, I mean, what do they really care? They want your concessions and they want to train. I mean, the most important thing is to train the new upcoming generation to like still appreciate the theatrical experience. That's what's most important. I don't know. I just think there's an opportunity there. And I'm kind of interested in how the Warhammer thing will shake out. You know? Angela and Daredevil for the next Rivals. New cinematic is sweet. Oh, shit. What's this, for season 4? Oh, shit. Season 4? Angela's actually a really cool character. Todd McFarlane. She's cool, man. Damn, she chonky too. She's for those dudes that like the muscle mommies, like Bricky. Oh shit!
Before false angels.
I like this.
So be it.
Daredevil's like, yo, fuck a muscle mommy. Damn! Daredevil's looking fucking hard as nails, bro. Damn. Let the devil out? Shadowland? Shadowland, Matt? The fuck? Damn, dude, this is going hard. Anime vibes. I wonder what could save Marvel. Maybe anime vibes. Fuck yeah, I always told you guys Rivals was the best. I never left, man. I never left. Don't call it a comeback, you know? Holy shit. Yeah, she's a Todd McFarlane character that was created and then brought over to Marvel under unusual circumstances, let's say. Yeah. I'm actually not recording this one. This isn't a clip. I should have, though. This does look cool, man. Are we getting back on Rivals? They just need to fix matchmaking. It would be good. Yes, that is a problem. Matchmaking is still a problem. It's just not a fun grind. Ultimately, the gameplay is awesome, but the grind is not. It's not rewarding enough. It's not a good setup right now. If they can fix matchmaking, I would grind on it, man. I like the fucking game. I always like the game, but the grind was just too much. It was too much. But yeah, season 4. That's some hype right there, man. I think these devs are really good. I really, really like the Marvel Rivals devs. I think that there's, it's not a perfect situation. There's still some issues, but they've handled a lot of stressful stuff in a good way, I think. Yeah. Imagine playing just to play. What? I don't know what you mean. What the fuck? Some of us never turned our backs on Rivals. I know, Brutal the Bear, like you and me. Like you and me, bro, you know? Like you and me. I need a DC equivalent of Rivals. Yeah, something like that would be cool. I can only do quick play now. I feel like quick play was just as toxic and bad, dude. In some ways, it was worse. I don't know. Hey, love your content. Loki is holding the multiverse with enchantment. Yeah, I think you might be onto something there with an enchantment. Yeah. There's a couple other smaller stories, a couple other interesting bits we could get into, guys, and then we just kind of hang out for a little bit and do some Q&A or whatever. Just chill. So did you see the Gambit comments, man? These are actually pretty interesting to me. Did y'all see this? Did y'all see these comments from Gambit? Pretty cool. All right, let me get this pulled up for you. So to me, these are actually really cool comments, dude. And apparently, there's a massive fight scene that just went down with Gambit and Doctor Doom. Okay, so that was something that was out there, and this all comes from a Variety article where they sat down with Channing, and he talked about it, and he talked about some other stuff too. But this comment in particular actually has me quite interested. It says, Channing Tatum says he's not going to go full Cajun as Gambit in Avengers Doomsday, and the quote is, "The Russo brothers want things to be funny, but they don't want to go full Deadpool. They want to keep the drama and keep it tight. When Gambit gets serious, things do matter." And man, to me, that's really, really good news. Now, let's talk about Gambit a little bit, and then let's talk about the Russo brothers, because this is actually a multi-layered thing here, and it's fun. Gambit in Deadpool, man. I mean, this is a tough one for me. I really like Channing, but man, first time he came out, they're doing all these cool things, and the music's dope, and oh shit, Blade, and oh shit, this character and that. I immediately thought Gambit didn't look that great. I'm sorry. I was just like, I don't know. This just isn't it. I don't want to be a dick here, but I mean, he's just so big, dude. He's just so fucking big. And he's just like a chunky boy. And like I don't know, I see Gambit as like a slim, smooth talking dude or whatever. Anyway, so didn't really love it, but here's the thing, kind of won me over because it was absolutely fucking hilarious. Like the bit was hilarious. I'm gonna make a name for myself. Hilarious, really, really funny. So this leaves me in kind of an awkward spot where like the only thing I like about Channing Tatum's Gambit is actually the funny part because everything else is just like too much for me. Now, the fighting was cool. Okay, he fought kind of cool. But this is really interesting. This would suggest that the Russos were like, okay, we're going to take you. We're going to take the Gambit character. We're going to bring you into this. But we're going to not do the Deadpool thing. We're going to keep it a little tighter. We want it to be funny. You're still going to be funny. But you're not going full Deadpool, not full Cajun. That accent, we got to lose a little bit of the accent there. And we want it to be more serious. To me, that's so good to hear. The sensibilities of the Russos is one of the things that I don't think they get enough credit for. And one of the things we always talk about here is like, look, I'll just say it for myself, although there are other people that share this opinion. I like T'Challa better in Civil War than in the Black Panther movie. I like Spider-Man more in the Civil War movie than I do in Spider-Man Far From Home. The Russos, I think, I'll give you another example. I like Carol Danvers better in Endgame and Infinity War than I do in any other thing she's in. Any other thing. Okay? I think the Russos had a great handle on the version of the character that works best for the movie. And the Russos were masters of dealing with character, drama, tension. Those were the moments that really like paid off all of these different films. And so to me, when I hear this, right, that the Russos are like dialing back the Gambit thing, I'm like, thank fucking God. This will probably be the same with Deadpool. Really interested in how that all comes together because it's one of my big concerns. You know, just the other week, there was all these stories like, oh, maybe Deadpool's not even in it. Maybe Deadpool's a big part of it. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. This, that, second, and the third. And I said, like, dude, I don't want slapstick shotgun joke, dick joke Deadpool to ruin the tone of this film. This has to be a very serious movie, and especially as everything's coming down, like it has to get there. So this feels good to me. It feels like, oh shit, they actually do care about that, and they're gonna be dialing this stuff back, man. And while we're on the topic of the Russos, I'll just put this into this segment as well. I went back and I rewatched The Gray Man. Okay. And I remember when this movie first came out, it's a Russo brothers movie for Netflix, and I was like, this movie sucks. And it was one of those things that's like, got me kind of down, because even then we thought they were going to do Secret Wars, and I was like, what the fuck? But here's what I'll say. Rewatching The Gray Man, it actually is better than I remember, okay? But there's this really big problem with it. There's a reason it doesn't work, is because all of the characters have this like swagger and have this like Marvel-esque way of talking. And it's like, it's really fucking predictable. And it's like, it's really like, it honestly feels a lot like Tony Stark talking to himself, like the jibs, the jabs, the clever wordplay and all this stuff. It's like everybody's fucking Tony Stark in this movie. And it doesn't really work. But one of the reasons it doesn't work is because these are not like characters that you have an archetype for. You're learning about them. And yet they're having this dialogue in a way that would feel earned maybe otherwise if you had built into that and you knew who these characters were. But it ends up feeling like kind of MCU parody. And it ends up just feeling like really hollow and like I just can't get into it. But the difference was like in the Marvel movies, they were able to do that, push the action. Like you could see the bones of a Russo movie in that film. The action's really cool. Constant action set pieces, really pushing things together. But the difference was, you don't have these characters that are so well established that sort of cliche dialogue back and forth feels good. Like that dialogue works in the Marvel shit because it's like on your left, Hail Hydra, and all these things that like you actually give a fuck about, and it feels cool to have that callback. And then the tension between the characters, it feels earned in a sense, even though it's technically like not as earned as you might think because of what you know about the character already, right? So I think that's like part of why their other stuff didn't work. And it's part of why they're so good in the ensemble setting, and they're so good with Marvel characters that are very, very well established. So I say all of that to say that just like with Spider-Man and just like with Black Panther, I'm looking here and I'm hopeful, and maybe I'm getting too fanboyish about this and shit, but I'm hopeful that we're going to get the best version of some of these characters that we have gotten so far in these films. That includes Channing Tatum's Deadpool. I'm really looking forward to see what his Gambit. I'm really looking forward to see what will this Gambit character do in this movie, and you can extend that to some of these other characters. Like, is this going to make the Thunderbolts or the new Avengers feel so much better and so much more earned? Is it going to make Sam Wilson and them boys feel so much better and so much more earned? Is the Fantastic Four going to feel better and so much more earned? Like, is this, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too hyped up again, but just these little comments that came out about Gambit here, bro, these got me excited. This got me feeling good. So I just wanted to bring it up, and let's see what y'all think about this. Chat, what do you think? What do you make of this? Am I going crazy again? Is it just the fanboy dreaming? Gambit about to make a name for himself? Yeah, probably. Even Deadpool himself might even hit better under the direction of the Russos. Yes, Carlos. That's kind of what I'm saying, man. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. Deadpool has to be toned down for the Avengers movie regardless. Yes. What the fuck? Ozempic? Now get out of here. Fourth wall breaks in Avengers movie. Yeah, they need to be like very sparse. Very sparse. But we agree. 2 Avengers films is meant to be serious. No meta jokes for 3 hours. Yeah, you can't have that. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Russo suck without Marvel, and Marvel sucks without them. It kind of seems like that could be the thing. It seems like that could be the thing, you know? Sometimes people just work well together. I don't know if that's making sense what I said about the Gray Man, but like you sit down and watch it and you're just like, it's just too much. Like every character's so cool. Every character has so much fun dialogue back and forth, and you're just like, I don't know who these fucking people are. So this doesn't feel earned, you know? But in Marvel, it does feel earned. Even the first Avengers movie, which they didn't do, but like even in that movie, the shittiness between them is part of what makes it fun. Yeah, I think the Russos will do Gambit and Deadpool better, says Tim O'Brien. Yeah, and then maybe what we get next with those characters is even better because of it. Because remember, the Russos are supposedly not just back for these, they're helping with the X-Men saga. So they're going to help kind of guide this and craft this. And then this part's speculation. Nobody's ever confirmed this, but when we were watching last week, we did a watch party for Thunderbolts, right? It came out on Disney Plus last week. And one of the things I said was like that first scene in the vault where they're all together, that feels like the Russos helped out with that. Because like the action feels Russo-y. Like the way it kind of guides the dialogue, and then the dialogue like fits. It's like there's a magic that they were really able to pull off, and I kind of feel like they helped out with that film. That's what I think. What happened with the Citadel then? What do you mean? I think She-Hulk, or basically every character other than Gaia, will be better with the Russos. Yes, I agree. I agree with that. Will you show up as Gambit in Secret Wars? Hell yeah, of course. Gambit, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, that would be dope. Oh, hell yeah, dude. I think we're getting some crazy good action in this film. Either way you slice it. Like, maybe the plot doesn't make perfect sense, but you know that action's going to pop off, bro. Russos? Can I drop a super chat here? I love your content. Yes, you may. Thanks. Because honestly, I watched the Priyanka movie on Amazon or whatever. She low-key does fight scenes well. Citadel. Oh, you're talking about a show, Citadel. Okay. Interesting. Yep. I would love to see She-Hulk under the Russo brothers. The show was trash, but I've always liked her casting. She'd be good with RDJ if she was given something better to work with. Yeah, Tatiana Maslany is really talented, yeah. I think they can rehabilitate. I think they can rehabilitate her. Yeah. So how far back in the stream do I have to go to get? Wait till you hear this bit. I would go all the way back. It was right at the start. This needs to be the Helm's Deep fight in its conception. Comic book characters fighting as long and so hard you have to break up the fights with joke scenes, breaks because the audience is fatigued. Yes, something like that. 100%, yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, man. Just a little comment too, and I can't believe Channing said this much. He probably should not have said this much, but screw it, man. Some people were saying he's the new Tom Holland of leaking stuff, and I was like, I don't think this is that bad, but I mean, it is kind of interesting. Apparently, he does mention like a fight with Dr. Doom and shit like that. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool, man. Pretty freaking sweet, if you ask me. All right, there's one other thing I wanted to talk about, and then we'll just kind of kick in and get into the Q's and the A's here, okay? And I'm working on a couple of big videos, like some theory videos and some explanations of things. Superman 2 confirmed? What do you mean? What happened? What happened? James Gunn just tweeted. Stream tonight? Yes, we're going to stream at 7:30. Man of Tomorrow? Man of Tomorrow, huh? James Gunn just tweeted, huh? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So as chat has just informed me, James Gunn just tweeted. And they were right. Check this shit out. Let's speculate. Man of Tomorrow in theaters, July 9th, 2027. What? Man of Tomorrow, July 9th, 2027. So, a couple of different things about this. This would indicate that this is likely the name of the next project. A lot of buzz around this, a lot of folks talking about it. Gunn himself teasing it out, talking about how it's a sequel to Superman, but it's not like technically a sequel to Superman or whatever. Man of Tomorrow. And then this is Jim Lee. It looks to be an original drawing made by Jim Lee. It has the date 2025 in his signature. And this is Lex Luthor in the famous Luthor power armor. And then Superman with a screwdriver in hand. And maybe they're working together. What? What in tarnation? What is he trying to say here? That Superman and Lex Luthor are going to have to work together? Man of Tomorrow is actually about Lex and Superman. You know what? I actually really liked. There was a moment where I think it was Frank Tierra, and I think it was who's the homie that did Tomasi? I think it was Peter J. Tomasi. Was doing a run where Luthor became Superman for a little bit. He had like a mother box suit, and he was actually like he was trying to be Superman. He was like, I'm gonna be Superman and protect everybody. And there are other moments where they work together. I think Forever Evil is a very famous one where they fight against Earth 3 and the oh shit, what are they called? It's the Earth 3 homies, like Ultraman, Owlman, and all them. The Syndicate, Crime Syndicate, I think. So there are moments, there are multiple times when, and I'll give this a like. Oop, there you go. Wait, the post was deleted? What the fuck? So yeah, that's kind of interesting, right? Like to have Luthor and him together like this is kind of interesting, and I do like those parts in the comics when they work together. And technically, Superman gives him the old speech at the end there and says, "I hope one day you realize it's your greatest strength too." Talking about just being human. You know, there was another. Oh, you know what this also is making me think of is Brainiac too. Because isn't there a Man of Tomorrow thing connected to Brainiac? I don't know. This is kind of crazy here. And then obviously getting this thing out in 2027 is a good bet. When does Batman... The Batman Part 2 is supposed to be out then too, right? So Batman Part 2 might drop 2027 early, and then this is the summer movie. That's a nice 1-2 punch for DC. Yeah, this could be good. Chat, what do you think? Chat, what are your thoughts, man? I think this could be good. Look, I really like the Superman movie. I think it needs to get more ambitious. I think it needs to be crazier. Hey, Luthor Superman team up. I like that. I like that. These are words and ideas. What you just typed out? Barely ideas. He's waiting until you were streaming to post it. Yeah. Love it. Yeah. I mean, dude, hey, if you can't do World's Finest, this is maybe the next best thing. And I love it when people are bold, right? What do I always talk about with Marvel? They need to get bolder. They need to go for it. They need to get crazy. Dude, Luthor and Superman together? God damn it. I guess those guns don't miss. Or whatever stupid shit they say. Well, James Gunn could do World's Finest, but Matt Reeves, maybe that's what it is, yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Give us a Thanos-level Brainiac gat. I mean, what if it's Luthor and Superman fighting against Brainiac? Bro, if it's Luthor and Superman versus Brainiac, fuck, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. Shit. It's really cool. You gotta take your shot when you're a gun. Yeah, right. Think they'll introduce Brainiac and Supergirl. That's the rumors. Yeah. There's some rumors about that. Surely Supergirl gets involved as well. I would imagine. The thing about Brainiac is it's kind of like an all hands on deck kind of situation. So yeah, you would need everybody. I'm so wet right now. Jeez. Sheesh. If they're bringing Brainiac into the movie, might as well get Static Shock and the other mutants involved, right? Yeah, they should get all the everybody involved, everybody they can. I mean, it's like a little mini Justice League movie. I like where his head's at. Brother, if these two motherfuckers are teaming up, and it seems like Superman is helping him, it's kind of cool. By the way, what are we streaming tonight at 7? Well, it'll be 7:30, and we're going to watch a movie that is free on Netflix called The Next Avengers, Heroes of Tomorrow. So just be there at 7:30. You know, we'll have some snacks. We'll have some snacks, you know what I mean? This is kind of cool, bro. 2027 going to be the greatest year ever. I mean, it's seeming like it's going to be a pretty good year, man. It's seeming like it's going to be a pretty good year for the space. And then here's the other thing about 2027. Maybe when the Warhammer stuff comes out too. Oh, let's go. 2027 is the year, baby. Static not owned by DC. Yes, but I think they can figure it out. I think they can figure it out. Hopefully. Another image of them fighting. What? James posted another image. My best friend James. Awesome dude James. Wait, what? Where? Where's it at? Where's it at, man? Where's it at? Yep. Psh. Y'all fucking lying to me, huh? I don't see no image. That's cool, though. I mean, yeah, credit where credit's due. That's a cool little image. Well, James has said Static can't join the DCU. I believe he may. I don't know. I don't think that's exactly what he said, but I didn't look into it too hard. My understanding is he's still trying. Like, he's trying to figure it out. That's my understanding. They posted 3 different ones. Who posted 3 different whats, man? What are you talking about? The hell are you even saying down there, man? What are you even saying? Parasite is the villain? Not good enough. Nah, man. I mean, what? Brainiac. I can already picture the scene. Supes visits him in prison. And he's like, we're fighting a thing known as Brainiac. So I'm going to need the biggest brain on this planet, which just happens to be you. Are you ready to do what's right and help save the planet? And then Luthor's like, no, fuck you, but yes. Hell yeah. Come on! Because if it's Parasite, like, be all right. If Marvel splits Doomsday or Secret Wars into 2 movies, then they're fucked until 2027. Marvel project's supposed to be released in July, too. There is supposed to be something that releases in July, yeah. There is something that's supposed to release in July. DC account on Instagram posted. What? Well, just somebody put it in Discord then. I can't get on Instagram on here. Do we think we get anything Warhammer at SDCC? What do you mean, next year? Next year? Maybe. Maybe. I think you might get a little something Christmas this year for Warhammer. And then something, maybe something official next year, yeah. What if the July release is Secret Wars Part 1? I don't think that's what it is. It could be that by another name, perhaps. I'm kind of leaning towards Doctor Strange 3, Illuminati, or Time Runs Out, or something. But yeah. Did you see where Chloe Bennett, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., said Secret Wars would have been better if she was in it as her S.H.I.E.L.D. character? I saw something about that. I'm not sure what she was saying. I don't know exactly what she was saying there. Parasite is a villain in the cartoons? Yeah. Parasite's cool, but technically, if Superman's there, Parasite is way more dangerous. So it'd actually be easier to fight Parasite without Superman present. Oluma Wuddy? Daniel put the link in Discord. Or did he now? Did he now? I don't see no images. I don't see no images. The hell? What are you talking about? All I see is Warhammer. Everybody's excited. Dude, there's a lot of Warhammer love on this Discord. That's crazy. Oh, here we go. This right here? This is Jay Jimenez probably, huh? Or whatever his name is. Yeah, okay. That's kind of cool. Still looks like they're teaming up there, though. Just so you know. Still looks like they're teaming up there. So, yeah. Look, credit where credit is due. That's a cool move. If you don't have Batman especially, that is a very cool move. So, yeah. Hey, Josh, you want to say your beard style is an inspiration. Thank you, Funky Sam. I like your name, man. So now I know not only are you Sam, but you're funky. Don't worry, Luthor betrays him in the film. Yeah, probably. Probably. Doctor Strange 3, Enter Illuminati versus Superman Man of Tomorrow. Which one wins the box office? Brandon Davis! Brandon! We're going again. I can't help myself. We're going again. Did we already discuss the Marvel Zombies trailer? We did. Shit looks lit, man. Looks really cool. We're probably going to do watch parties for it. You know, I've been really supportive of Marvel, and I've been really supportive of all their Disney Plus endeavors. the whole time, despite you guys getting really mad about it. So we'll just probably keep doing what we're doing and keep watching the Marvel Disney Plus stuff, you know? Will we ever get another Hulk movie or no? Yeah, I think we will. I think we will. All right, so that's kind of cool, though. Breaking news from Gunn. That's kind of interesting. Man of Tomorrow. Kind of cool. Any other thoughts before we end the segment here? Pretending to help Lex is my favorite Lex. Absolutely. How do you feel about Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings is cool, man. I'm a big fan. There's one of them fighting. Even if that were the case, it would still only be one of the 3 shared was them fighting. And the one Gunn posted is them together. And he's got the screwdriver. What do you think's going on with that screwdriver, man? Oh, there is one of them fighting, yeah. Or maybe he's just trying to help him with his armor. Maybe it jammed. This is the one of them fighting. But I think maybe he's just trying to help him. Like maybe his shoulder got popped out, you know? So. Superman. What about the whole Universal Hulk situation? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. Justin Yell says, much love. Good to be able to be around for a little bit. Nerd Adventures for Life. 3 amigos. Hey, hell yeah. Appreciate you, man. What's your lifting split? You're looking yoked. Oh, really? Because I feel weak as fuck. I've been sick, and then I hurt my back, so I haven't been lifting as much. I would like to get yoked again, though. I'd like to get yoked. I wonder what is going on at Marvel. Why are the non-interesting shows like Agatha Zombies that are so good, yet Daredevil was so bad? It's a good question, man. It's a good question. I'm not really sure. Water? Yeah, I drink water. Chill out. Chill out. I know about water. You think I don't know about water? Come on, man. Anyway, dumb question, but do you snore? Dude, I don't know. I don't know if I snore. I have no idea. Superman 2 filming next year. Next year is hype. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Maybe we'll get some clues. Maybe we'll get some things that leak out. No one told you? So anytime somebody starts talking about that, I fall back asleep and start snoring again. So I'm like, you know, you actually do kind of snore now, but like... So, no, I've never actually heard anybody mention it. Have you ever heard, like, some people have, like, this thing where it's, like, out of sight, out of mind? Or maybe you've heard of it as, like, selective hearing. So, like, there's a lot of stuff in the world that I just ignore. And I think it's a pretty good way to live. It's delusional for sure. But it's, like, a really nice delusion. Where you're like, hey, you know what? That didn't happen. That doesn't matter. Who cares? Have you played the Battlefront 2 Kyber mode yet? No. I mean, I do like the game, but haven't played it in a long time. Hi, doggy. Want to come up here? Want to say hi to everybody? Can you see the puppy? Oh, you want to come up here? Where are you going? Oh, she must have heard something. She must have heard something. Okay, can we talk about Doctor Doom just a little bit? Are you guys sick of talking about Doctor Doom? We don't have to. If you guys are sick of all the Doctor Doom talk, we don't have to. We could let it simmer. We could talk about it next time. We could talk about it maybe another day. You know? Will Steve Rogers be replaced by Cap, his son, James, post-Secret Wars? That's a good question. I don't know. It's a good question. Damn, she appeared like a magician. Yeah, she does. The truth about Doctor Doom. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought everybody was like, oh, RDJ Doctor Doom, who cares? Oh, no, I don't like it. I'm not excited. What if it underperforms? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. All right. So let's see where this takes us. No script here. No script. Just some thoughts off the dome, okay? So recently, My Time to Shine put out a tweet, put out a scoop, and it says it was something like, if I understand this correctly, Doctor Doom is going to try to kill Steve, and because Steve caused the incursions and killed Doctor Doom's family. Let me see if I can just pull this up for you, and we can get into exactly what it is, because this is kind of this has set the fandom on fire a little bit, and a lot of people are confused by this. So here's what it is here. She says, if I understand correctly, Steve going back in time to be with Peggy created the incursions that killed Doctor Doom's family. Now Doom is hunting Steve to kill him for what he did, manipulating everybody in his plan to achieve it. Now, first of all, what I'll tell you is, this is partially correct from what I understand, but I don't think she actually fully understands what is going on here. And I had a couple of different questions about this. I think there's a couple of different things that are really weird about this. So let me just be crystal fucking clear. I did have a source tell me that this isn't exactly correct, that there's more to it, and that there's something that Shine is missing. I also believe that if you look at particularly like some of the things that Shine has gotten wrong, like for instance, Shine had this scoop that Galactus was going to get Franklin because Franklin could then recreate the universe that Galactus was from. That was a big scoop that Shine had that ended up not being true. And I would argue that like one or two things could be going on. Maybe they had that in there and they cut it, or maybe they're putting out fake information via the scripts. And one of the most important things to recognize is that the dialogue is where a lot of this seems to be happening, where it could have been in the script, all this nonsense about him bringing the universe back, and then just on the day of, somebody just says, hey, Ralph, why don't you do one where you say he's the power cosmic? Why don't you do one where he says this? And then they just take that and they make it. And it's hard to say, like, did the plan change, or is the plan purposely wrong to throw some of the scoopers off? We know for sure that Marvel has engaged in fake scripts. Famously, there were big fake scripts for Deadpool and Wolverine. This was why Alex Perez at one time was talking about how there was going to be this fight between Jean Grey and the Scarlet Witch. And we were all like, holy shit, that sounds fucking incredible. Apparently it was all a fake script. Okay? So Marvel puts fake stuff out there. So I think that obviously there's some truth in this. Okay? There's some truth in this because Steve is important. Doom is trying to get after Steve for some reason here. But there's a couple of things that don't make any sense to me. Number one, Doctor Doom's family. Chat, we got any Marvel Comics heads in here? Any of you Marvel Comics heads? Let me just ask you a question here. Who could it possibly be Doctor Doom's family? Who's Doctor Doom's family? Like, answer me that question. Who even is Doctor Doom's family? His mother? Yeah, but she dies when he's a child. His father? His father dies when he's a child. Who's his family? He doesn't have a family. Okay? In fact, the closest thing that Doom has to a family is Reed's family. Valeria, Sue, Franklin. And you know what's kind of odd about that? Is like, if you think about it, the leaked concept art, which there's a lot we don't know, but let's just assume that that was real. The leaked concept art shows Doom, Sue Storm, and Franklin. And so it seems like Doom's going to take the family of Reed, just like he did in Hickman's Secret Wars, and that's his family. Okay? So who even is Doctor Doom's family? His family is Reed's family. Well, how could it be the case that Steve going back in time to be with Peggy created the incursions that killed Doctor Doom's family? I mean, the only way that makes sense to me I mean, there's a couple of ways that this could make sense. Like, technically, if it's just a Tony variant, then it's not actually Doom's family, it's Tony's variant family. And so, like, he's looking at Tony's family and everything that he had, and he's like, oh my God, when you went back in time, Steve, you prevented my version of the timeline where I could have had all this and had my family and all that sort of stuff. But I don't think that's what it is. Okay? So one of the other options could be, oh, he's talking about the destruction of the Fantastic Four universe, which is inevitable because it is not the sacred timeline. And that means that his family, as in Sue, Reed, and all of them, he views Steve's choice as sacrificing the other universes, aka 838, where he is from. Okay? But I don't think that's what it is either. I don't think that's what it is either. Now, there's a couple of things that are kind of wild about this, and I think there's more to it that you need to explore. If Steve did indeed go back to live with Peggy, which it seems like he did, according to the leaks, he did it after he put all of the stones back. Okay? So if Steve, and remember, there was a Nomad show, right? There was a Nomad show. This has been confirmed by multiple people, including Bo DeMeo. In fact, Bo recently talked about this, and he said they had all these ideas, but they couldn't figure it out, and they ended up just scrapping it. But, like, the point is, Steve and Peggy was always going to be a part of whatever was going to happen for Secret Wars. This was intended when Endgame was going on. That's the reason that Michael Waldron got all cagey about this exact question when he was doing the press for Loki Season 1. It's probably why you have a Peggy Carter-looking person pulled into Loki Season 1. It is also probably why Tom Hiddleston as Loki is rumored to have been the fourth person that shot the scene that was a dialogue scene with Peggy and Steve in Avengers Doomsday. So this thing was always a part of the plan, and it was always meant to happen after a Nomad show and after Steve went around to put all of the stones back. Well, I mean, I can tell you what I think it is. I could tell you what I think's going on. I think it has to do with Steve learning something about the multiverse and the timelines and deciding to come back and live a life on the main timeline. And I think he did help to shape certain events and things that happened in the timeline. Mainly, I believe what he did was make sure that things happened the way that he remembered them. I think it has to do, and I think it'll end up having to do with the whole RDJ and Tony thing. And I think what Doom is, the reason Doom wants to kill Steve, and I think maybe even the reason that he needs to kill Steve, is because Steve basically became something on the timeline that, just like He Who Remains, was making sure certain things happened. And one of the things that happened has a lot to do with the RDJ and Dr. Doom thing. And so essentially, Victor will see Steve as a person that knew the truth and yet chose to go back and make sure that the lies, the universe, the fake version of the universe was protected. And that is the whole problem. So I don't think it's actually the incursions, although the incursions could be a byproduct of that, perhaps. And I think Doom is going to manipulate everybody around him to try to get to Steve. I think that is true. But I think exactly what happened with Steve, the truth of what is going on with Steve and the Sacred Timeline and Doctor Doom is not this. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't it. It's like this, but there's something more to it. There's an element here that we're not understanding. So I just wanted to throw that out there because, like, dude, this doesn't make sense from like multiple reasons. You know what I mean? And when you realize that this was something that had been planned for a long time, that the Nomad show was going to be a very important part of this. And I think it's going to end up tying back into Endgame and a couple of exact scenes. Like, I have a theory. I'm not like telling you the full theory here, but I think maybe some of you might know where my head's at with it, but I'm going to put it all into a big video. Yeah. So this whole thing is like crazy, right? And then there's the whole added element of they have kids, you know, so Steve has kids with Peggy and his kids then are on the timeline, right? So there's like something there that was going on that obviously does destabilize the entire multiverse. But I don't think it's going to just be as simple as like, oh yeah, Steve Rogers doing that was the actual cause of the incursion, so Doom just wants to kill him, so there's no incursion. Doesn't make any fucking sense. I mean, from what I understand, Doom is very comfortable with the multiverse collapsing. You know? He doesn't want there to be a multiverse, and he understands that this version of the multiverse is false. So it doesn't make sense that he would even just want to stop the incursion. None of this makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, literally none of this makes sense. But sure, I mean, maybe this is in some scripts. You know, maybe this is on some documentation. Like, I'm not saying that she's lying. I think she's being lied to. That's my take on that. What do you guys think? What do you think? Bro, since we know Doom is not going to be Romani in the MCU, do you think his family will die when Doom is an adult? And that's what prompts his arc? I think his origin is going to be basically comic book origin done in 838. That's what I think it is. A guy at work looks like James Gunn. I thought for a minute it was him. Wait, what? Like at work, or like that was at your place of work, right? Because if he's there working, like, no. Which was, what are you talking about, brother? The Doctor Doom origin, the basic origin, you know, from Books of Doom, all that kind of stuff. So they're going to use his Nomad stuff in Doomsday. I think the Nomad stuff is a big part of it, yeah. Look, that's obviously the missing piece of the puzzle, right? I mean, that's why they wanted to do a Nomad show. When Steve, you think of it like this. If we're pretty sure that Steve leaving and living with Peggy was always going to be a part of the Secret Wars thing, then when they wrote Endgame, when they made Endgame, they knew for sure that Steve going to put the stones back was not just going to like happen perfectly. And part of how we know that is because he misses his time back. He's an old man. He lives this whole life seemingly on the sacred timeline. But he supposedly still puts the stones back, right? Or did he put the stones back? Who knows? Or maybe F4 occurs before Steve returns the stones, which causes an incursion and destroys 838, which is why Doom must now kill Steve. Hang on, let me read that again. F4 occurs before Steve returns the stones, which causes an incursion and destroys 838, which is why Doom must now kill Steve. Yeah, but like, so here's the thing, right? Here's what I don't understand about that. I don't understand how Doom is going to causally time travel to stop the incursions and yet still exist himself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be something else to it. There's something we're missing. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm hoping we get a flashback montage of Steve putting the stones back in the miniseries. Dude, a miniseries would be peak. Maybe they explain it in the Doctor Strange 3 movie, yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of different angles. There's a lot of different ways that they could do this. But look, all I can tell you for sure is, like, I don't think this is correct. I have very reliable people telling me she is not understanding it. And she's either lying on purpose or she's being lied to. Which, Her track record has been shaky lately, I think because Marvel is throwing the scoopers a bit off of the scent. So it could be in a script. Like, this could literally be on documentation, and she thinks that that is exactly what it is. But I'm just telling you, no. No. That's not what it is. What if the TVA prunes the timelines before Steve can put them back? Well, that's actually necessary. And actually, when Steve gets on the thing, Hulk tells him, look, you have to put these back the exact moment they left. Otherwise, you're going to create a bunch of scary alternate realities. Like, he says that shit. And this was before the TVA, before we even knew what that is. And then Steve says, clip the branches. That's what Steve says. Why did he say that? You know? I think that Doom wants power more than revenge. So him going after Steve is to take his son's power since he becomes the Beyonder, possibly. Doom knows the multiverse is false. I really think that's what it is. I really, really think that that's what they're doing. And I think Doom will realize that if he doesn't already realize that. And so I think a lot of what he is saying to people is not actually what is motivating him. He knows the shit is fake. He knows he needs to do something to break the multiverse free. Shalami Leaner says, we are getting Superman 2 before we get Wonder Woman or Batman? What happened to his plan? I think the Wonder Woman thing is happening right now. They're working on a script. I think Gunn, you know, he's got an idea for his thing, his next script, his next dealie. They do have a plan. I mean, they're trying to, obviously it's not going perfectly, you know, but yeah, this is the plan. That's what the plan is. I don't see how the MCU could do Doom's origin since it's tied to his Romani identity. It would have to change to accommodate RDJ like with Olsen. Yeah, so you just answer your own question. They just do it like with Olsen. Damn, I'm so sad, Jedi Mike. Yeah, man, you missed it. You missed the Warhammer talk, bro. You missed the Warhammer talk. I could go back to it, though. You want me to get? I could go back just for you, brother. Just for you. Hey, Justin, do you see my towel? Yo, check this shit out. Is Kendall in here? Look at I own Tau now. Look at this thing. Look at the size of it. Look at that gun. Bam, 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 bam. They have said what the next live action will be now for DC. Yeah, Gunn just announced today Man of Tomorrow with some really interesting images, actually. So there you go. They Tau now. Bianca, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Really appreciate you. Hey, should we do another subathon? I'm kind of like, I don't even know if we should do another subathon because y'all just be triggering me so much. But I've been thinking about doing it. I don't know. I guess we could do one, I guess. I don't think Steve returned the stones, and I think Dr. Doom needs the sacred timeline Infinity Stones. Ooh. That'd be cool. Get a better PC first. Hey, don't say that. Justin, big update on Space Marine 2 tomorrow, man. Are you getting on? Space Marine 2? Huh, bro? Space Marine 2? Huh? How long did it take you to build and paint? Oh, that is not... I didn't build or paint that. That was my buddy's army. You did a subathon? Can I watch it? Nope. Deleted it. Subathon, a phase 1 watch party? Damn. That'd be wild, huh? That would be wild, huh? Yeah. Get some fresh towel. I do have some to paint, though. I have some stealth suits to paint. There's a Commander Shadow Sun, which needs a little bit more work. So I do have a little bit to paint with the towel, but a lot of this is already painted. Hell yeah. You playing Skate? Yeah, when's it drop? Skate was so fun back in the day, man. Skate was like revolutionary, man. Josh, you were right that Doom knows Iron Man was a variant of him ruined by Kang, so he might try to deceive Steve and not kill him. There's something going on. Look, I'm just telling you there's something else going on there. I mean, I have a theory on it. I am being a little cheeky and a little cagey about it because I want to put it into a big theory video. But, yeah, I think there's an explanation, man. I think there's an explanation. Drops the 16th. What drops the 16th? The new Warhammer update? Oh, what the hell? Why did you delete your subathon? Curious. I just felt like it, man. I just felt like it. You know, just being wild and crazy. Just being wild and crazy. I did get shot, too. That was crazy. I'm excited to see Loki again. Me too, man. Me too. They skate now. I'm not going to repaint them. Some of them I'll touch up. I actually like the paint job on this Storm Surge. I think it's pretty good. Maybe, if anything, I would do like a little bit of a wash to take it in a little bit more of a grimdark direction. You know, maybe like a little oil wash on certain parts. But, yeah, it's pretty good. Skate! That's going to be a fun one, man. Yeah, that's going to be cool. Is it like open world? Like, can you get into like just like go to a skate park with a bunch of people and like play skate actually? Like horse? When's the skate deep dive? I don't know if we're deep diving on skate anytime soon. That doesn't seem like a thing. Oh, shit. A drinkathon? Yeah. Josh don't skate, poser. I used to skate. I actually really like skateboarding, man. You can group up with 60 people. That's too much. That's more than like a Call of Duty lobby. What the hell? Oh, okay, cool. They're in Mana tomorrow. That's great. Yeah, that's fun, man. Look, I think that's a good move. When does Skate come out? Doom's family will probably just be his family from the comics, not the F4. Yeah, but that's so stupid. Like, no, he doesn't have a family. And if his family dies from the incursion, he's not Doctor Doom. Like, that's so silly. Doom loses his family as a child. That's the whole idea. That's the whole point. You'd pass out if did a drink-a-thon. So funny. Yeah. For sure. The 16th? Oh, of this month? So what, a couple of weeks from now? Is it free on Game Pass? Is it on Game Pass? Doom's whole backstory is about how he loses his mom. Well, so, yes, it's actually both. Like, losing his parents is so important because, so, his mom, right? She's a witch, magic. His dad, technologist, healer. So, literally, both of that whole thing is so important. His mom does some crazy magic shit. The whole village kind of like turns on them. Little Victor is like, oh, you don't want to kick me out of this place because I'll grow up to be just as powerful as my mom. I'll come back here and I will fuck you up with magic. And they were like, oh shit, okay, you can stay. Then later what happens is the Baron calls upon his father, who again is the technologist and the healer, to come heal his daughter. And then his dad dies. So then Victor like studies both. He studies the technology and he studies the magic. So that's what it is. Maybe Doom coming for Steve is a distraction. Like, what if Doom was doing the X-Men universe? Yeah, that's what I mean. Is there's something else going on here? It's like some kind of sleight of hand, some kind of distraction or something. Yeah, there's something else going on. Yeah, the Rivals trailer looks sick. It does look sick, dude. Daredevil looks cool, bro. And then if you like muscle mommies, Angela looks cool too. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for a nice little stream here. Nice little stream here. We'll be live tonight at 7:30. I'm going to go work on some videos, maybe paint up some towel or whatever. So tonight, we're going to watch a really fun movie, guys. It's like an hour and a half. Next Avengers, Heroes of Tomorrow on YouTube. I'm excited. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Yes, maybe we will do a subathon soon. What Warhammer game do you recommend? I never played. Space Marine 2 is cool. Space Marine. I like Chaos Gate Demon Hunter. That's a really fun game. If you like XCOM, I highly recommend that one. Rogue Trader's great. Rogue Trader's great. A lot of good games. All right, everybody. I will see you. I'll see you tonight at 7:30. Much love. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Please come to MegaCon for Theories in my birthday. When is that? When and where is that? You can't just be making demands like that. Could have at least said please. Yeah. Another happy landing, eh? I know you guys are pretty excited about the Warhammer news. I know. It's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. I'm excited. I know you're excited. It's the future. It's the future. A lot of fun content being cooked up for you. I think you're going to dig it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, man. You guys have a good day. I'll see some of you tonight. I'll see a lot of you tomorrow. Much love. Hey, do me a favor. Actually make it too. Open up your third eye and wash out your stinky butthole. Do you guys see this towel? Man, this fucking towel that I got, man? So cool.